Right.
Hey people, this is Della Piana. I am here with Sarah Freels and Sarah Stevens, and we're here to talk about Julian Assange and the miscarriage of justice, the death of truth, and the assault on free speech and journalism. So, today, I think, is one of the darkest days in world history. And there are a lot of people out there weighing in. A lot of them are spot on. A lot of them are not. And I do want to address one issue before we even get into this subject. And we're going to talk about the issue of Julian Assange being a rapist, because I want to get this off the table. Now, first of all, those charges fell apart under scrutiny. Those charges were dismissed in 2017. If you're hearing they're going to reinstitute those, I would have absolutely no surprise in my system if they do that. But that is a political move. And I just want to say that some of the people who are ready to crucify Assange with absolutely no proof are the same people who were decrying the Me Too movement and defending fuckwads like Louis C.K. and everybody else who never said they didn't do it, but are suddenly back on the road making a ton of money in their chosen profession. So you're a bunch of fucking hypocrites. Let's get it on the table. And a lot of you are women. And let's just get that on the table too. So I think that the whole rape conversation needs to go away now, because that's not what any of this is about. And that's not why he was arrested. All right? So with that set aside, let us discuss the arrest of Julian Assange. How do you guys feel?
Do you guys believe that his arrest has anything to do with the fact that the Ecuadorian government just took over $4 billion to restructure?
I do. I think if you listen to the ex-president of Ecuador, he was the one that gave Julian Assange asylum in that embassy. The guy that's there now, Moreno, he's a corrupt bastard. And he took not only this money from the IMF, but he also took money from Mike Pence months ago when Mike Pence visited. The United States gave him money months ago. And yeah, there's no question about it. Moreno's government is corrupt. And if you go on the Rumpley site, you know, the people that have been following him outside the embassy, the people that do the streaming, the first people that were there to stream the arrest today. If you go on their Twitter site, they have a lot of people on there talking about the corruption in the Ecuadorian government right now, and how this is an outgrowth of that. Because there was no problem for Assange to be there until this administration took over.
And someone said Assange has to answer to the crown?
I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I think in England, they already declared him guilty of, what do you want to call it? Skipping bail. He's already been declared guilty of skipping bail because that's when he took refuge in the what do you want to call it? The Ecuadorian Embassy. Right. But I don't know what England is going to charge him with.
Does he have any dirt on the royal family? Were the royal family mentioned in WikiLeaks? Because I heard the royal family was connected to a lot of that, child trafficking stuff and everything.
I've heard that too, but I don't know that they were mentioned. I never even looked them up in WikiLeaks. I never even thought about it. That's a good idea. Yeah. That's a good idea. Because that never even dawned on me to do that. So I don't know what they have planned, but I do know that they arrested him at the request of this government, the United States government, part of that.
I thought it was the United Kingdom government. See, the stories are all messed up.
It was the UK that arrested him, but they did so at the request of the United States.
Okay.
So people who are saying now that Obama signed that before he left office, he signed the arrest warrant, I have no doubt that that's the case. But people who want to defend Donald Trump now by saying it was Obama that signed the paperwork. Well, yeah, it was. But you know what? This has been Donald Trump's ball game for 2 years now. He doesn't have to honor those things. You know, we were going to investigate the Bush family too, with the Bush regime for war crimes, right? Barack Obama got into office and decided we weren't going to do that again. We weren't going to do that anymore. He decided we needed to move on.
So
if
speaking,
Trump were really a protector of Julian Assange, people are saying when he gets here, Trump's going to pardon him. Give me a break, please. All right? Understand this. Donald Trump has stated time and time again that the media is the, quote, and this is how he phrases it, the enemy of the state. The media is supposed to be the enemy of the state. It's supposed to be what keeps the state honest. But the fact of the matter is our media in America is after him. You know, it's not a fair, I'm saying he's not being treated fairly because everybody in America, the media in this country, is behind the Democrats and against him. They let the Democrats slide. They don't let anything he does slide. Okay, if he farts in the wrong direction, they're right there. All right, and I get that. I get that. All right, but Donald Trump you have to understand, Donald Trump's not going to pardon Julian Assange because guess what? Then he could potentially become a subject for Julian Assange. That's not going to happen. He's not doing that. And the people who are saying it's part of the whole Q plan, go away. Really, see ya. I just can't do it anymore, you know? I'm at the point now where this is a really serious issue. Yeah. This is like the death of freedom of the press here. And I can't entertain Q people anymore. I just can't do it anymore. You know, it's too serious now.
You know, it's not just you and me, Sarah. Like, there's other activists and other media and other people. The dog just came off stage. People like, Jared Beck and Kay Johnstone, they're also speaking out, too, about the Q cultists. Like, you call them the Q-tips. I like that better.
I call them the Q-tips.
I like Q-tips, too. But, it's not about being mean. They're, like, all focused on their emotions. They're like, you're personally attacking me. And I'm like, no, I'm addressing an issue. Like, especially when I talk to Bernie supporters or Trump supporters, they don't want to hear what I have to say simply because of the fact that I won't support whatever they support. And I have,
I haven't had that issue. Not with Trump supporters. Now with Bernie supporters, I have.
Oh, I've had people, I'd say at least one person a day, like minimum, they'll say things like, bye-bye, if I criticize Trump at all. And I'm like, you know what, good riddance. You know?
Right. Did you guys see the latest indictment, too, of Obama's, did you guys just see that today?
Yeah, I've been focused on Justice on.
There was an indictment on a high-ranking official that was in Obama's administration, and he actually went to prison. It was just announced, just within an hour ago. I see it. Let's see if I can find it. It's pretty big news.
All right.
Where's my phone at?
The other thing.
To see that. Hold on, I'll be back.
One thing I wanted to mention was when I watched the video of him being arrested like 35 times, like minimum. Okay, I thought it was really cool when he came out. You could see that he wasn't moving. He wasn't reaching for anything. He was being really still. He was being calm. They had him literally vertical. Literally vertical. He had I'd say 10 people at least helping him through that door. And you could tell he had two or three sentences max that he just said on repeat. Yeah. And he said it very clearly and loudly. And so, I always, whenever I see anybody doing anything that's like this, anti-establishment, anything that's real protesting, real opposition, I always try and focus and see, what are the good things that they did during it happening, because it's going to happen. Each of us, we know that down the line. you know, they're going to be coming after us eventually. That's just the reality of it.
It is.
Okay. Hey guys, so you might not have heard about this. This is fairly recent. It is just today at 7:50 p.m. Former Obama administration White House counsel Greg Craig has been indicted by the Department of Justice with making false statements and concealing material information about his activities on behalf of the Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
Lawyers for Craig had expected their client to be charged in a foreign lobbying investigation spun off from special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe, arguing in a statement that Craig is not guilty of any charge, and the government's stubborn insistence on prosecuting Mr. Craig is a misguided abuse of prosecutorial discretion. He was indicted by a grand jury in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia for willfully falsifying and concealing material facts from the National Security Division's Foreign Agent Registration Act unit and for making false and misleading statements to the FARA unit. That was just within the past hour.
Yeah, I think that's clearly going to be the outcome of Mueller's investigation. You know, all of that lobbying that went on without being registered. You know, the Podesta, John Roberts.
Yes.
That's all it's going to be. You know, everybody thought it was going to be that they were going to find Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin guilty of collusion. What they're actually finding out is that there was a lot of corruption in the Obama administration. There's a lot of corruption in the Trump administration, too. Don't make no bones about that.
Right.
Because, you know, what's his name? Michael Cohen and what's his name? They're bottom feeders, those two guys. You know? And so...
there's just corruption in the system, period.
All freaking government is a mess. It really is.
Yeah.
It needs to come down. But, you know, on the Assange thing, I think the time now for all the online vigils is over. You know, listen, it didn't keep him from getting arrested. We now need to do something beyond that. You know, being online, signing petitions. Somebody's posting phone numbers tonight. This is the number so you can weigh in on the Assange arrest. They don't give a shit what you think about Assange being arrested. They give you that number to keep you busy. You know, it's hell no. Throw the thing away.
They don't want you calling your neighbors and your allies and
you know all these people online pray for Assange and Manning. Fuck the prayers. That ain't gonna work. We need to be on the street.
I don't want to knock the Unity for Day movement because, you know, they...
No, I'm not knocking them.
I'm not either. I'm just saying, I think we're at a point where we have to physically take our bodies and get into the middle of the street, in the middle of the road, you know, in every major city, and I don't understand why they wouldn't go that route. Like...
we need to shut this shit down now. Now it needs to be... The people, they need to understand that the people are serious about freedom of the press. This goes beyond just, prosecuting him. This is a big, big issue. This has a lot of implications. The guy that you need to listen to on this one is Glenn Greenwald. He's the guy that's been, you know, he says it. He said it right out. You know, it's what. The one thing that they're prosecuting him on is the one thing that can harm freedom of the press. And it was the one thing that the Obama administration was not going to prosecute him on. So I think the implication here is that, you know, Trump really does see the media as his enemy. And I think, you know, Trump has stated flat out that he thinks that that he's questioned whether we need, you know, a free press. I mean, this is a guy who is, I don't care what anyone says, he's a totalitarian dictator, you know? And it's, you know, you can say what you want about him not being in the establishment, but, you know, he's not a good guy either. We have to understand, you know, just exactly the lay of the land here. We have no good guys on either side. Yeah. So.
Well, maybe Ron Paul. I kind of like him.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like one person out of.
I'll tell you what my problem is across the board with anyone who's a libertarian.
Lobbying.
You know, he's a free market guy. I think personally, from my perspective, capitalism is not a working system.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And lobbying does not help matters either. So-
Right, and by the way, Ron Paul didn't, he wanted to cut Social Security, but what he didn't tell everybody was he was getting a Social Security check when he came up with that brilliant idea. He collects Social Security, just like the people who want to cut our health care, but we pay for their health care. How does that work out?
Yeah, I know.
But the Assange thing, I think, is big, and people. I mean, I know people who don't even know who this guy is. That's how insulated people are.
Jeez.
They don't even know who he is.
There's people that I was watching the live stream this week, and I just like to mention, when WikiLeaks first said that, Assange could be evicted, and then they tried to downplay it for a few days and say, they're lying, blah blah. They were right.
Yep.
Everybody, WikiLeaks is right.
Yep.
For the last 10 years, WikiLeaks has been right.
Right. They've never had to retract anything.
Never had to retract anything.
Yeah, and so this is what I say to people. I say, why would I listen to anybody but WikiLeaks? I just don't. In my opinion, if WikiLeaks says that, and it happened when he didn't get arrested within like the first 48 hours, right? The big hue and cry out there was, I knew he was a fraud, blah, 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 blah. I'm going, oh my God, people are so demented, but
you hate it when they say, Obama never had one arrest in his administration, his whole 2 terms. I'm like, that doesn't make you get innocent. The fact that the president and his administration wasn't arrested during its own term.
They should have been arrested. Some of them should have been arrested.
Yeah, they should have been. That's just.
Some of them should have been arrested.
More.
No, but instead they're walking freely.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I think that at this point, May 3rd is World Press Freedom Day. And I personally think something should be organized across the country for that day to stand up for Assange.
Sarah could probably do that.
Not
across the country, but we could do local.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do local. I'll take Boston. Area. I can't imagine that there would be a better day to do that. And if, we need to make some kind of statement. I mean, we can keep talking like this. We can keep streaming. We can keep writing articles, and that's all great. But I got to tell you, until we make a show on the streets and act angry, I mean, none of this, no more being nice. I mean, this is bullshit now. We're right at the brink of having a totalitarian government. I mean, we're either going to accept this or we're not. If we're going to accept it, that's a decision everybody has to make. How much can you take? I personally, I don't want to live under those circumstances. That's just not the way I want to live. So I'm willing to go on the streets no matter what happens. So, and I know it's scary because we're almost at the point where I certainly would never guarantee you that it would not be bloody. I would certainly never make that promise at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
Maybe if as citizens we had been more vigilant and doing what we should have been doing as citizens, we could have had a better situation to walk into. But, we basically gave up our power too. And we have to start.
But we can't, mainly because of the fact that we can't guarantee that this won't be a bloody revolution. It's tons of reasons. I mean, there's false flags, there's infiltrating, there's stupid people. Ignorant people, that just are misinformed could be causing violence. We don't know. I hear a lot of people.
It doesn't even have to be anybody on the streets. It can be the police. The police can start the violence too.
That's the thing. So, I learned that with No Dapple. I watched the live streams and I saw the contradicting information. So I kind of got a glimpse of what it's going to be for us, Now France, I really do think France is the perfect example of what we need here.
Yeah, well, I have a Facebook friend from France, and she said that even if they have jobs and lives, they're still out there protesting when they get the chance.
Yeah.
That's the point, yeah.
I think people are learning the difference between, fake protesting and real protesting, and what kind of activism actually makes a change, and not all activism, is real change,
Right.
With so many AstroTurfs and so many fake organizations that are, they're real organizations, but they have an ulterior motive, they want to.
Yeah, they have an agenda.
To work against their own interests.
Right.
So it's just getting that information out. But we have like 9 minutes left, so I want to show the video of Assange getting evicted. Here. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Donald Trump, I suppose I should say administration, because the President of the United States is the enough Wikileaks. We know from the US Secretary Mike Pompeo that Wikileaks, a hostile intelligence service, and what do they mean for...
Let me fast forward. Let me find one that
it doesn't matter if
is just of the
As soon as this video is over, I've got to go take my dogs out, guys. Why? Dang.
I'm looking for the video right here.
I'm glad we don't have to worry about it because she don't go to those schools.
the Ecuadorian government released Assange to British
Here he
authorities.
is.
Now face charges in the U.S. rights search from London.
I hate how mainstream media, they like cut out,
Oh yeah, they're terrible. They're a joke.
See, he was literally vertical. His feet were right here.
My husband was just saying that almost 400 teachers just lost their jobs in Washington, in Spokane County.
And he was screaming,
Resist.
UK has no serenity. The UK has no serenity. And he said, the UK must resist. And of course, they cut out what he says. And they shove him in the van. See how he's not moving? He did so good. And Manning is still in jail too, right?
What? Yeah, she's still in jail.
Yeah. So what did you think about the clip?
I think, here's the other thing I just want to say. When I was watching that stream this morning, again, I get back on the subject of the American people or people in general, but, commentary like, he hasn't even shaved. What do you say to stuff like that? It's amazing, when you, oh, he looks terrible. You know what, do people ever fucking look beyond the veneer? I'm amazed at just how callous people are and unempathetic. And I think that people don't care about this because in their minds, it doesn't affect right here. It doesn't affect their real world. But the reality is that eventually they're going to come for all of us. And if you're not going to stand up for him, then there's nobody to stand up for you someday. And that's just the way it's going to be. And the notion that we can sit there and criticize the way he looks or the way he's been in a fucking embassy with no sunlight, no human contact, no outside contact now for a year. He's been cut off from the internet and everything else. He's unhealthy. He's probably got some emotional issues. And people really need to just shut the fuck up at this point because, I almost find people's reaction to this as infuriating as the arrest itself. I have to be perfectly honest with you. I'm taking it off.
I wanted to ask you, Deb, do you think that now that they have Assange, do you think that they're going to go after WikiLeaks?
I don't know. I don't know what they'll be able to do. You know, WikiLeaks doesn't exist in this country. So I don't know. I think WikiLeaks will carry on. I think he's got that in place. And I think he intended for it to be, if anything, I think he knew when he started this that potentially something could happen to him. And I think he probably set it up to continue on. And I hope it does. I really do. I think that, you know, if anything, going forward, we need more people to tell the truth about our government. And if we don't have that, we're going to be operating in the dark when we do get on the street. And that's...
Think about it this way. If he's in America, then, and we know where he's at, that could spark protests here.
Yeah, we need to, I will tell you, I think we need to be on the streets May 3rd for World Press Freedom Day. They actually, I believe that whole thing, the whole World Press promotion that I got, that I went to the website, came out of Australia. And in Australia, they're asking people to come out for that, for Assange. And I think we need to we need to ask people here to come out as well.
Make an event.
It's a world event. It's not just Australia. It's not just the United States. It's World Press Freedom Day. And I can't think of a better time to be out there, but I definitely think once we know when he's going to be extradited to the United States, I really fucking want to be wherever they're coming into. I don't know. Are they going to bring him into Washington? I don't know. By plane. I think we need to. I think there needs to be something going on there for that occurrence. If they even if we have to figure out when he's coming, I don't even know if they'd let us know. But I don't know. It's time. I mean, if we can't get out on the streets for this, we're pretty hopeless, really. So,
I agree. I think it's our time to really stand up. You know, like with our protest in Boston, we're going to be sharing Julian Assange information.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that now.
Yeah. So there is hope. I believe there is hope. A lot of people think that it's just hopeless because they think, oh, everyone's just brain dead. But we have to have hope for the future because otherwise we're just giving up. And I don't think any of us really want that.
No, I actually have flyers for Julian Assange here that I made for the last time we did a thing. So I have them.
So I'll bring them too. More the better.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate you guys talking with me about this, and we'll probably do another one soon too. Make sure we keep talking about this every day, tweeting, blogging, memeing, however you guys make content. Just make content. Research your own information and spread the message that everything is, you can look everything up at this point in time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's always a way to research things on your own. You don't have to rely on mainstream media. I think the main reason.
No, you don't. You don't have to rely on them at all. In fact, you don't get anything from them but misinformation. So you're better off not. I mean, even at the store today when I was working, we have the TV on in the paint department. Just listening to the way they were covering his arrest was pathetic, you know? Yeah. Almost no detail.
It's about to close. I appreciate you guys. We'll do another one soon. If you like this video, please subscribe and share.